Kiranvali, the 28th of September 2017. The new FIFA 18 game is out on Friday, the 29th of September, and what should really just be the release of a computer game has, for some, become something of an annual event. Friday will no doubt see people racing to tweet pictures of their copy of the game, sat in the passenger seat of their car with a seatbelt around it, while their other halves humble brag about what a top partner they are. Please don't be that cringed on that puts a pic of your FIFA 18 in a seatbelt in your car. Adam Fallis at ads 27 September 25, 2017. In the build-up to the release, there have been the usual lols surrounding the game's new player ratings. Chelsea's Michy Batshuayi has actually been in protracted conversations with the game manufacturer over his rating, and he took up the point again after scoring a hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. Many of us mere mortals will have booked Friday as annual leave in advance, while some reading this might now be planning a sickie, but there are those among us for whom playing the game is not something they bunk off work to do, it's their actual job. People like 20-year-old Spencer "Gorilla" Ealing, who represents UNILAD at the game and who, this year, became the official FIFA Interactive World Cup FIWC champion. What does that mean? Well, basically, he's the best person in the world at playing this football game, and he gets paid to do it. He's living your best life, and he's a very nice fella too, Spencer tells us. He hasn't had a chance to form much of an opinion yet about the latest version of the game, and refused to be drawn on his opinions on those controversial decisions. He did add though that he and his mates disputed Brazilian legend Ronaldo's 4-star skill rating though. He's the first Englishman to win the FIWC since Chris Bullitt in 2005, taking the title with a 73 win over 2 legs against Germany's Kaideto Wallin. It always wanted to qualify, he tells us. To qualify, out of over 7 million people, and then win it, that was obviously pretty huge for myself. Of those 7 million plus entrants, 32 eventual grand finalists competed in the tournament in London. Spencer had been getting tipped as a favourite for a while, after shining in earlier versions of the game. The fact it was in England obviously made it more special too, he tells us. Speaking to Spencer, the overwhelming impression is of a very humble and level-headed young man. He doesn't celebrate goals, for a start. If you've ever knocked a brew all over your mum's new rug while celebrating a late winner over your older brother, then you may find that strange. Even in the final of the World Cup, after putting a third goal past his opponent, which effectively put the game to bed, Spencer gestured to silence the celebrating crowd. The game wasn't over yet, he has explained. It's massive to lead like that, especially in a final, but I faced the best players of the season here and you can never afford to lose or focus, especially against a player like Deto. I was just looking at it as a hobby at that point. It'd always been better than my mates at the game. After my first tournament, it snowballed. Spencer "Gorilla" Ealing is not getting carried away with the $200,000 £150,000 prize money, either. Playing for the money is the surest way of losing your head, HES said. I'm very happy with what I've accomplished and I think things will get interesting for me in the future, even if I'm struggling to grasp it at the moment. Playing esports for a living must be a dream job though, right? Yep, it's always an interesting conversation when I tell people that that's what I do, Spencer concedes. But how does one go about it? The way Spencer tells the story, it's as though he became a pro gamer sort of by accident. School wasn't my cup of tea. When I left, I didn't really have many other options at the time in terms of career or anything. I didn't really know what to do, he tells me. At that time, he noticed online tournaments hosted by Finity, a UK-based esports company, who host tournaments, including a whole series of live tournaments showcased recently here on 3. I was just looking at it as a hobby at that point. It'd always been better than my mates at the game. After my first tournament, it snowballed. Spencer signed for UNILAD in March this year. Spencer admits that helps seen esports develop really rapidly since he started playing. He'll be playing the game for anywhere between 6 to 12 hours a day. Spencer "Gorilla" Ealing: what exactly does it take to get to his level then, and how long does it take to adapt to a new game coming out after the release? For the first month or two, he'll be playing the game for anywhere between 6 to 12 hours a day, if not more, depending on whether there are tournaments going on, he tells me. He admits that nights in playing the game with mates are a bit less fun now that he will basically just smash them to pieces, and he tells us that he tends not to respond to the many challenges from members of the public that he receives on Twitter. As harsh as it sounds, there's no benefit to me, he explains. If I beat them, then that was expected, and if they beat me, it's embarrassing. In past editions of the game, I've always gone for a narrow formation, like 4312. I like to play direct. I'm not one to keep hold of the ball, he tells us. Down to the important business though, how can we get as good as him, and smash our mates 70-0? I always get asked this, he told us with a sigh. If you want it, you just have to put the time in. You can't get great over one weekend. Watch your games back. Play better opponents. Never be content. No big secrets then. Ah well, have fun trying anyway.